Tonight on News 5 Live, a father and son are safely back home in Louisville after a daring kidnapping in Chetumal earlier this week. FECTAB voices strong opinions on MSC's interest in buying Stake Bank. The Prime Minister calls out the crowd for not singing Belize's national anthem. Plus, we have an update on our investigation into Guatemalan incursions in southern Belize. All this and more coming up in the next 60 seconds.
My name is Hermine Vega. El Patio Grill has been using Belize Bank for over 25 years. We only use Belize Bank at our restaurant. That's why we were able to win this trip to Europe. I had never been to Europe. We found out it was Madrid and we were excited and we went to this football match. The teams reached before the game and everybody was just outside, you know. You can't explain, the noise just roared like 3 blocks down the street, but when you got in there and you saw 70,000 people in there, that was amazing. I couldn't believe it was happening. I had to pinch myself to make sure it was real, you know. Because it's a one-in-a-lifetime experience, I'd say. My lucky plus one was my son. He's 18 years old, so he was really excited and he enjoyed it as well. He said it's his best trip ever, so it's a priceless experience that we got. Belize Bank has always been there for me. Whatever transactions or whatever I need to do, they're always there for me. I would recommend everybody to use Belize Bank. It's the oldest bank in our country and they continue to do their best.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Friday, October 11th. I am Sabrina Daly. A father and son from Louisville, Corozal, who were kidnapped 3 days ago in the Subteniente Lopez area of Quintana Roo, Mexico, have been found alive. 48-year-old Luis Camara and his 19-year-old son Johan were released by their captors after it became clear that they were taken by mistake. Once found, Mexican authorities ensured that they received a medical checkup to confirm that they were in good health. While the details of their abduction are still murky, Mexican police are actively investigating the circumstances surrounding their kidnapping and eventual release. News 5's Marian Ali brings us a story of their safe return home.
Great news came early this morning from the Attorney General's office of Quintana Roo. Louis and Johan Camara, the father and son duo kidnapped on Tuesday, have been found alive. The Louisville residents are back home tonight, reunited with their family after enduring 3 terrifying nights in the hands of armed kidnappers in Mexico. While the details of their ordeal and release are still sketchy, Belize's ambassador to Mexico, Oscar Arnold, confirmed that although the men are safe, they were robbed of personal items. The investigation is ongoing.
The report this morning was that both gentlemen were found alive. It seems to have been mistaken identity. There are some superficial wounds from what we are told, from them being either handcuffed or tied up. They had some wounds, some lacerations around their wrists, but outside of that, so far they seem to be okay. They went to do a medical checkup, and I do believe also that the local police will probably do an interview as well to try to get some information from them. We understand that some items were taken from them, identification, passports, and laptops as well. It seems that during the course of trying to ascertain whether they were the right individuals that these people were looking for, they were looking for evidence to either corroborate or to find out exactly who they were. But so far, it seems to be a mistaken identity case.
Details, including where the men were taken, where they were found, and who found them, are still unclear. Arnold said the primary focus earlier was to get the men back to Belize safely. But what happens now with Johan's academic pursuits in Mexico? Will he continue his agricultural studies? Will he be offered some kind of security if he does?
Our council in Chetumal is also assisting to try to get the both gentlemen across the border. That or those type of information is not available to me as yet. It seems that they were left somewhere to be found. The exact location, I am not privy to that information as yet. Here at the embassy, we are relieved that they were found alive. However, the questions you pose, along with many other questions, are things that we are following up with the authorities. We want to know. We'll be asking them, we'll be engaging with them to find out exactly what they know, what they have.
This is the first time something like this has happened to anyone from Louisville. And even though the men have been released, the incident has left residents feeling uneasy about crossing the border. The situation has sparked concern among Belizeans who travel to Chetumal for various reasons, including shopping, as shared by Chairman Isael Pott and resident Marta Chuk.
It will trigger a fear to cross that border to many Belizeans. Also, on the education side, some Belizeans look for further education on that side, so they might think it twice. Not only the village, but you can see it in the comments of the social media.
We were afraid, and I still am afraid, because that's something that we don't imagine that could happen. But I thank God that they are safe and return home.
Although the family is safely back together, Belizean authorities haven't yet said if this incident will lead to a travel advisory for trips north of the border.
Before we can maybe give an official embassy on behalf of the Foreign Affairs or the embassy here, we need to get all the details before we can issue any other comment on the safety of traveling across the border. My advice would be that each of us, every individual person, is responsible for their own safety as well whenever they're crossing any borders. The authorities have advised that they will step up their vigilance along the routes that are normally traveled by Belizeans whenever they visit Quintana Roo and Chetumal and Oton P. Blanco. So my advice would be to remain vigilant, to ensure that you stay on the beaten path. Don't go off on any side roads or any secluded areas.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
MSC, or Mediterranean Shipping Company, is one of the biggest names in the cruise and shipping world. Now they're eyeing a piece of the Belizean cruise market and have shown interest in buying the State Bank cruise terminal. Prime Minister John Briceño spilled the beans on Monday morning during his appearance on the Open Your Eyes morning show. He explained that the government of Belize had to step in and acquire State Bank because MSC didn't want to get involved while there's a dispute between Mike Feinstein and financier OPSA. Today, the Federation of Cruise Tourism Association of Belize, FECTAB, held a press conference to voice their objections to MSC's interest in State Bank. We'll dive into that press conference in a bit, but first, let's revisit PM Briceño's comments from earlier this week, where he called the government honest brokers.
Here's a dispute over a project that successive governments have said is in the national interest of Belize. We got involved as honest brokers, trying to find a compromise between the two groups. But what? Well, they can't come to an agreement. I don't want to prejudice or give my how I feel about it, but they can't come to a compromise. So now here comes the investors that really have the money, that they are the ones that put up the money, most of the money. Come to us, well, we can't come to an agreement. Now we have MSC, one of the largest cruise lines, and also they do container. They move container, the largest company to move containers around the world. They have over 200,000 people working. They're saying, well, no, we'd be interested, but we don't want to get into this mess. The only way we'd be interested if this mess is settled and we buy over them. So that the only way we can do that is by compulsory acquiring the land. Albino and two other persons, the top people from MSC, and said they're excited. They came for the first time to Belize, and they flew by helicopter and looked at the blue hole, the reef, the country. And there he says, you guys have one of the most beautiful countries. We want in. We spoke to them about the port of Belize, and they say, well, we're prepared to do this and also import and consider investing in the container portion of the port. So exciting things are coming, but we need to get things done. We need to solve these problems to be able to go to the next point.
Prime Minister Briceño made it crystal clear that the government of Belize isn't involved in the potential sale of State Bank to MFC. He explained that these talks are happening between OPSA and MFC, but FECTAB members are not happy about it. Today, they held a press conference at the Belize Institute for Management, packing the rooms with their members. Among the attendees were two well-known Belizean artists, painter Alex Sanker and poet Erwin X. FECTAB's president David Almendarez voiced strong objections, explaining that the association had an agreement with the Feinsteins to work inside State Bank once it was completed. He passionately protested the potential sale to MSC.
Railroading, that's railroad. One idea, one dream, Mr. Sanka, what we had. We had a dream that they are building a port front of Belize City. They are good owners, but think about the country, think about us. Try to make a little money, spread the wealth, make Belizean people get out of poverty. Make we be owners of something. Mr. Mike said, once we get this signed, we're going to deal with you. Your membership are always going to presence at this island. That's the promise, that's the hope, that's the way we want. So my picnic, your grand picnic, our picnic could access one island and make good money because of their good works and not because of who they know and what they know. The local tourism industry will lose from this deal. Nobody will bring an island close to us and share the pie. It don't work so. That one decision that's ill-fated. First we had to take it away in our name. They sell one drink now. We have to take it away in your name. And now they hear through the grapevine, one company, when the MSC, one bite, or supposed to one bite. and then they want to do a cruise ship thing.
One new face at today's FECTAB press conference was painter Alex Sanker, who usually isn't seen at these events. He showed up to express his frustrations about the compulsory acquisition of State Bank. Sanker shared that he had an agreement with Feinstein to open an art shop on the island once it was completed, calling it his retirement plan.
Miss Feinstein came to my studio through Ray Banzali. Now, I have to remind you, Ray Banzali is a nice area. Yeah, a very wealthy family. I speak from the heart. I say, come and meet you, buy food and beverage, and I'll bring you in and make us see what I want. I mean, do a portrait for your husband. This is how all of this start. But they may support me years ago, but I moved out of the state and start paint, etc. She said, also, I want to talk to something about you. She said, I passed Albert Street. I love where to do there, but you need a home. You're a one-of-a-kind artist in this nation. This nation have never seen nothing like you, period. She had offered me a store at State Bank. Now, I'm not going to ask. Once I settle, I will be allowed to bring in other visual artists. So when Ms. Feinstein said, we want to give you a store, I was more than overwhelmed. Automatically, know my head gone, my retirement plan. That automatically happened. When they want to do with this island and privatize it, that threw a wrench into my engine. I mean, don't say. I call Ms. Feinstein a month ago and I say, man, you know, it's a harsh reality. Is this ever going to come true?
We also heard from Yoni Rosado, one of FECTAB's most vocal members. Rosado didn't hold back, saying they expected better decisions from the Bricenu administration and likening the potential MSC sale to committing adultery. Poet Erwin X also took the stage, reciting a poem that he says captures the current reality of Belizeans.
Nobody happened now. Look, later on, to commit adultery with a ship we don't know, MSC. We work with the respect that we should have for FECTAB, not only Rosado, that FECTAB have been on the air for the past 18, 20 years. Please go on and look it up. We have tell up the previous government, and we were hoping and praying that the Blue Party, the Todos Ganamos Party, not going to pagar, and we are, but we don't have money for pay. We can't pay because we don't have money.
So I just want to understand.
Yes.
If I may. So you all oppose the acquisition of State Bank?
Hell yes. We oppose
100%.
We oppose the PUP in totality.
Todos ganamos. We can say, oh, politicians not doing what on a vow. People soon eat grass like cow. Remember on a reap what on a sow. Guns were bust, the youth now bow. Political sufferation, Belizeans won't allow. Cost of living blow way up, huge increase. Them soon tax me for the air and breeze. Only one set of people benefiting Belize. Special political rats getting fat off all the cheese. Life so hard, every politician knows why. Not even crumbs are now coming by. Taxation sucking the nation, drip dry. Life harder out there, they get on the cry.
Luke Martinez, the president of the National Trade Union Congress of Belize, was also present at today's FECTAB press conference. He was merely there as an invited guest and observer. He spoke with reporters following the press conference. Here's what he had to say on the matter.
Well, we're still waiting for the Prime Minister to answer our questions that we sent him, and we're pressing for him to give us a reasonable response. He sent us a page of nothing a few weeks ago, and so we're still waiting for him to respond to us. As a matter of fact, we're still waiting to get around the table with him and his team to meaningfully discuss this issue. Right, for the National Trade Union Congress, this is beyond those who are securing their investment. we are securing our democracy. We are ensuring that we secure taxpayers' dollars, right? Your tax money, all tax money, everybody tax money, right? So for us, it's a tax issue, as well as a very serious governance issue, right? Just after, during COVID, the government took over $80 million from public officers, just strung it. Right, and so now we have an acquisition that is about to happen. Hopefully it doesn't happen, which will continue to consolidate what everybody is saying, that we're facing a dictatorship, right? And so as the vanguards of democracy, we have to ensure that we follow this issue and ensure that it works out for Belizeans.
Does this MSC prospect validate the point or the position of the NTUCB that the compulsory acquisition is in fact not for a public purpose?
Well, we've been saying that from the beginning. Prove to us that it's a public purpose acquisition. Prove that to us, right? So we want the Prime Minister and his technical team to prove that to the Belizean people, prove that to the investors.
Coming up, what can be done about Belize's excessively hot classrooms?
Hello, friends. I'm Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "Whereby are given unto us exceeding great and precious promises, that by these you might be partakers of the divine nature." Dr. Donald Gray Bornhouse tells a story of the wife of a French pastor who had made a promise box. She wrote out in French more than 200 promises and put them in the box. Through the years, this box was used by the family to teach them to trust in the Lord. Later, during the war, the only food they had was messes of potato peelings from a local restaurant. Her children became emaciated and they cried to her for food. In one of her more tragic moments, she turned to the promise box in desperation and prayed for a single promise to meet her needs. Being blinded by her tears, she reached out for the promise box and accidentally knocked it over. The promises showered down all around her, and she suddenly realized in that moment of desperation that all the promises of God were for her and only needed to be claimed by faith. If you're going through a trial right now, turn to God and the Bible, God's promise box, and you will find peace and hope. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Are you leading the way in sustainable development? Protecting mangroves is more than a choice. It's a responsibility. The Mangrove Friendly Development Challenge is your platform to showcase designs that harmonize development with nature. Let your innovation shine and help preserve Belize's mangroves. Register by October 15th, 2024. Visit mangrovefriendlychallenge.org to learn more.
Coming up, a food odyssey like no other. Getting the most out of cruising. St. Lucia's Peaks, boosted businesses. Serving up the best, a great place to rest. Another take on shrimp? It's all next on this station.
Sbarro, the original New York pizza you know and love. Sbarro's extra-large pizzas are handmade fresh daily with San Marzano-style sauce, 100% whole milk mozzarella on a hand-stretched 17-inch dough. Available whole or by the slice, so you can simply fold, eat, and repeat.
On Wednesday, over 100 voters who tried to transfer to Cayo North were told to stay put in their current constituencies. This came after UDP standard-bearer Omar Figueroa raised concerns about possible fraud. The case went to the San Ignacio Magistrate Court, where the magistrate even visited some of the voters' addresses to check things out. After a lot of back and forth, the magistrate decided to send the case to the High Court, leaving the final decision up in the air. For now, those voters won't be moving to Cayo North. We caught up with Prime Minister John Briceño to get his take on the situation. Here's what he had to say.
I don't think you want to open that kind of worm when you have the leader of the opposition registering himself in his office. That's where he lives. So we need to start there. When you have the honorable member from Albert have over 80 people registered in her in her office, those are the things. If we want to be real, let's look at everything, and that's where we need to start. And you could go and check in Orange Rock Central, and find that.
At Thursday's cabinet meeting, the government of Belize decided to scrap the old food and drug registration, licensing, and inspection regulations. They're bringing in new modernized laws to better oversee pharmaceutical products and make sure the medicines Belizeans use are safe and effective. Prime Minister John Briceño was asked how they're ensuring the safety of pharmaceuticals without a drug inspector in the Ministry of Health. Here's what he had to say.
Well, I think that the minister is working on that. We're supposed to be appointing one soon, but that's a job not just of one person, it's a department. And if you notice, we have not had lately issues that bad drugs come in like before under the previous government. We had a lot of bad drugs. We had, unfortunately, a person that I knew, a few $1 million plus of his goods were rejected because they were not meeting the standards. So it's not just a person, but it's a department. We have strengthened the department to ensure that the drugs that we put on the shelf are the ones that we're able to meet the standards and to help our people, as opposed to, I remember coming to 2020, I have a friend that was taking pressure pills, and they said the pressure pills weren't helping him. And so when he went to see the doctor, the doctor said, just take double. When you should not take double, but the problem is that they end up. So we're dealing with it and we're handling it, and it's not going to be a problem.
Last month, Prime Minister John Briceño signed off on a new rule that gives a big break to new businesses exporting cattle to Mexico. They won't have to pay business tax for 2 years. This tax exemption is meant to ease financial hardships for these exporters. We caught up with Prime Minister Briceño today, and he shared more about why this tax break is so important. He explained that exporting cattle to Mexico boosts Belize's cattle market, helping it compete with Guatemalan cattle importers. He believes this tax break is crucial for the survival of both markets and benefits the ranchers. Here's more on what he had to say.
What has happened is that for a long time, the cattle is being exported into Guatemala. Now, here in Belize, they break no law to export it into Guatemala. Obviously, we are negotiating an agreement with Guatemala to be able to formalize that. But the people, they need the meat, and they go with it. So there's no taxes that is being paid. Mexico came in. When Mexico came in, now they want to have a long-term agreement with us to buy. They need a minimum of 2,000. That's just for them to break even. They want to buy 5,000-10,000 heads every month. Now, because of the competition, and I also have a cattle ranch, and I remember in 2006, 2007 when we started off, we were being paid 40 cents on the hoof, means live. They pay 40 cents, they weigh, they pay 40 cents, and they take the cattle. Today, because of the competition, because of them coming in, the Mexicans, now they are, the price has gone up to over $2.50. So you imagine how much more, especially, and then we have over 5,000 small cattle ranchers. 80% of them only have 50 heads or less. So that's having a tremendous impact on their lives and helping them. But when you export to Mexico, you're at a disadvantage. You have to pay the business tax, so they can't compete. It makes it easier for the Guatemalans to come and say, well, I'll pay you a little bit extra more if you sell it to me. They want to drive the Mexican out of business, obviously, because once they do that, then they don't have to pay $2.50 or $2.75. They can go back and pay 80 cents. So it's just good business sense for us as a country to be able to protect the Mexican market, and that is why we remove the business tax, to give them, as best as possible, a level playing field.
2024 is officially one of the hottest years in Belizean history, with the sweltering heat becoming almost unbearable, especially for those stuck in poorly ventilated spaces like classrooms. As climate change continues to push temperatures higher, the need for cooler, safer learning environments is even more urgent than ever. We chatted with Prime Minister John Briceño about what can be done to tackle this issue in schools across the country. Here's what he had to say.
That's a massive problem. As I said earlier, many people don't know, but I grew up for a few years in a thatch house with my mother, and it was made of pimenta and also sascab and the straw. We had a cement floor, and it was always cool. The Mayas knew what materials to use to be able to keep us cool. Cement hold on to heat. Zinc translates heat. And so we have to know to find a way how we can try to start to move towards that, probably putting more insulation into roofs, but even the types of windows that we use. If you look in the rural areas in Mexico and in Guatemala, they don't have louvers. They have this huge room. They opened up the entire side of this so that air can flow in easier. That's what we have to do. See, these are some similar to this, but we have to do to the other side so that the air can circulate. So there's certain things that we need to do. I wish I could tell you we have the money to do everything, but we have to start to think. We need to adapt. During between 1998 and 2007, I was the Minister of Natural Resources and Environment, and whenever I go abroad, I used to get very upset when they're telling us about adaptation. I say, why should we adapt? We did not create this problem. We need to build some sort of resiliency. But no, unfortunately, we've passed resiliency. We have to adapt. The heat that's going, it was the heat that we had earlier this year. It's a heat that I've never experienced in Belize. So that's the reality, and we need to try to see how best we could address these issues.
The Auditor General's office is currently without a leader after Dorothy Bradley's contract wasn't renewed. The government is now on the hunt for a new Auditor General. This has sparked questions about whether it's effective to have a contract officer without tenure holding the government accountable. Prime Minister Briceño argues that having a contract gives the Auditor General more independence. Luke Martinez, president of the NTUCB, also shared his thoughts on the matter.
Yeah, we're hoping that the government would ventilate the proper procedures to ensure that we have an Auditor General soon. We know that the appointment is a constitutional appointment. As is right now, the Deputy Auditor Generals, they have limitations. Right, and so until we have Auditor General in place, then certain things could happen. So, for example, our request to audit the 6.9, right? So the Deputy Auditor Generals have limitations in executing that. So the quicker the government ensure that we have a competent Auditor General, the better it's going to be for us, right? We will see the results quicker.
Do you agree in principle with having a constitutionally enshrined post filled with a contract officer?
So that is something that we're exploring. As a matter of fact, you'll see the National Trade Union Congress popping up with several interest groups, and so we're mounting support to get the feedback from other interest groups, including our social partners, to wrap our heads around this and to see what is going to best fit how we get all of this done. We know that the previous Auditor General was pushing for an Auditor General Act, right, and pushing for autonomy. We're seeing sometimes how, of course, the autonomy is important because you can't audit yourself now. As is right now, the government, they audit itself, how it's structured, right? So the it comes right back to the governance structure. How we strengthen the governance structure collectively to ensure that it works for us.
After the break, Guatemalans bribing BDF soldiers with chicken. Investigation launched. But first, here's the weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
Watch The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings of the First Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. exclusively on Channel 5 Belize. The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings every Sunday at 8 a.m. on Channel 5 Belize.
Not every child alive meets their needs to survive. So for 75 years we've kept up the fight. Let the way wear your voice, 'cause you should have a choice. Dedicated to helping our girls and our boys. And we must stand together for every child. You have the right to live, have the right to learn. You have the right to feel respected and heard. Have the right to dream, treated equally. We let them see that you have the right to be free. You have the right to be safe. You have the right to be loved. You have the right to be anything that you dream. You have the right to be. Yes, we keep on demanding our leaders will stand for you, our future. We can't give in. Step aside, no, we won't. Everything we devote to our children, the ones who need it the most, until we make a difference for every child. You have the right to live, have the right to learn. You have the right to feel respected and heard. Have the right to dream, treated equally. We let them see that you have the right to be free. You have the right to be safe. You have the right to be loved. You have the right to be anything that you dream. You have the right to be. So we
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connection. Pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! Tired of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? It's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
An investigation into allegations the BDF soldiers stationed at the Machakilha conservation post are being bribed by Guatemalans continues. The team of investigators met on Wednesday and is expected to produce its findings on October 18th. One of the wild allegations is that Guatemalans are bribing soldiers with chicken. Today, Prime Minister John Briceño responded to the startling allegations as the situation has sparked national debate about the challenges faced by underpaid soldiers tasked with defending Belize's borders. Could something as simple as food sway their loyalty? Hipólito Novello has been investigating and has the following report.
Chicken can't pay out to protect the interests of this country.
Prime Minister John Briceño speaking on allegations that Guatemalan loggers are bribing Belize Defense Force soldiers stationed at the Machakilha conservation post. That investigation continues, as News 5 has learned that the investigating team met on Wednesday, October 9th and is expected to submit its finding by Friday, October 18th. Our own investigation has revealed allegations of Guatemalans bribing soldiers with chicken. Is that all it takes? Chicken for our BDF soldiers to abandon their duties, not to mention their sense of pride and patriotism thrown out the window. But if you put yourself in the soldiers' boots, you will realize that they do work hard and get paid very little. That's no excuse to sell out your country, but when you get food like this, expired pancrema, expired tang, expired peanuts, ramen noodles, some rice, granola bars, and canned food, you might understand the dynamics at play. We asked Prime Minister John Briceño about it.
So there's some claims that some of the BDF soldiers, due to poor payment and food rations, that they're even taking bribes of foods such as like chickens. Have you heard of that?
That will happen any place. If you get $1,000 and somebody can give you another $100, you're going to take it. So I don't think it's a matter of that. I think it's a matter of that our BDF have to be more disciplined in what we're doing, and that's one of the things that we've been talking to the general, that we feel that the BDF was at the pinnacle when it comes to discipline, and I think we're slipping, and so it's important now to hit the reset button to ensure that these people, our BDF soldiers, to say that we have to be able to at all time look after the interests of Belize. That chicken can't pay out to protect the interests of this country.
Now take this as a contributing factor. An entry-level BDF soldier earns about $40 a day, and if that same soldier remains in the force for more than 5 years, then that figure increases to $42 a day. If increments are given in a timely manner, then it should be more. Again, trekking through thick forests for long hours in whatever weather condition, sometimes for more than 2 days, is no easy task. And as our investigation has revealed, one of the Guatemalans who attempted to bribe the BDF patrol commander said that he has been bribing soldiers for more than 5 years.
These allegations is always going to, I'm sure, will always come up. We just have to be on top of it and ensuring that we protect Belize at all times, and that is not for compromise. We have these issues all along. We have to be able to put more checks and balances. One of the issues that Conservation for Development, FCD, Foreign Friends for Conservation Development, they have been talking to us to say that we have to ensure that the BDF would walk the borders, and because there's nowhere then how we can be able to track that. They were saying that they were not doing the patrols the way they did. So what we've been doing is getting them the equipment, some truckers that would mark where they're walking to ensure that we do the traveling.
That tracking device will assist in keeping soldiers on this side of the border, because some of them are known to frequent specific establishments on the Guatemalan side. These allegations stem from a September 7 mission when soldiers detained Guatemalan loggers operating in the Columbia River Forest Reserve. The men and their chainsaws were detained. A woman and 2 minors were released, and later in the evening, soldiers found themselves surrounded by over 10 potentially armed Guatemalans near the conservation post. Communication with Fairweather campus last. Gunshots were heard and the outnumbered soldiers released the detainees to avoid violence. The mission to destroy the 2 illegal bridges was abandoned. Communications failures with the radios exacerbated the standoff, prompting questions about the need for equipment upgrades.
Well, that's what I just said, that we have to be working with it. We have to use more technology, better technology. We're using the tracking system so that we know where they are at all times and where is it that they're walking. And I think now the issue of probably satellite radio when it is necessary. But these are all challenges that we face out there. Is you're not in an office, so you're going to meet the challenges at all times, and as we meet them, we need to see how best we could address it.
And we will keep investigating. Reporting for News 5, Ippolito Novello.
Earlier this week, opposition leader Shine Barrow questioned the credibility of a survey by Viking Strategies after it showed him as one of the least popular politicians in the country. On Thursday, the principal of Viking Strategies broke down the methodology behind the survey, which also covers other key issues like politics, the economy, crime, and corruption. Here's how the lead pollster responded to Barrow's criticism.
I would say it's probably, I think he just doesn't like the message. There were no complaints in 2023 when he was seen as reasonably popular. There's a tendency to want, if you don't like the message, to attack the messenger. In terms of the credibility of how the poll is structured, the methodology and how the process, which we're rigorous about, is the standard process that you would use for doing a poll. And in fact, in a lot of ways, I would argue that this is, because of Belize's size and the fact you have to do in-person interviews, it's probably even better methodology than what you get from a telephone survey or certainly an online survey in the US, because we literally know who the people are that we're talking to.
Or to ask you for your songless advice on making his party electable. What in a nugget would that advice be?
I think it's true whoever's going to lead the party, and so he's the current leader, and if they decide somebody else is going to be the leader, the same reality is true to them. They have to get, as a party, they have to stop talking about themselves and their internal drama and start talking about the people of Belize and what the people of Belize care about.
Even though the People's United Party is gaining popularity, the Briceño administration is still grappling with challenges like citizen security, infrastructure development, and connecting with the public. The poll results also show that young female voters are open to women in politics, including Albert Area Representative Tracy Panton.
PUP's strengths, they're the favorites. Rising crime is their key challenge. Economic difficulties, kind of neutral forum, corruption concerns, infrastructure, need for engagement. UDP, they've got to navigate the leadership challenges that they have. But when you think about those people that are leading, right? So of them, most of them have either been around or are part of a family that have all been around. Obviously, Tracy Panton has really good numbers. That younger generation of females had a tendency to be incredibly warm in their language and in their numbers towards other females, particularly Elena Smith, for people who were up in her area, so they knew her. Is it Elena Smith? Is that right? Yeah. And Tracy Panton, more nationally. And it was this, there is an element of them. Now, I don't know enough to know whether it's because just they're female and it's like, okay, we're sticking together, I am woman, hear me roar, or they're inherently a little bit different, because there is a thing with younger men also being slightly more positive to them, that they're different.
When we return, NTUCB president weighs in on Santiago Xiao's invalidity benefit denial.
The Statistical Institute of Belize, in collaboration with UNICEF, informs the public that they will conduct the multiple indicator cluster survey starting August 26th for approximately 14 weeks. During the survey, trained interviewers will visit randomly selected households nationwide. Each field worker will wear a mint green t-shirt with the Mix 7 logo and an official photo identification card. We thank you for your participation. For more information on the Multiple Indicator Cluster Survey, call us at 822-2207. The Statistical Institute of Belize, providing Belize with quality, objective, and timely information.
So the doctor has given me 5 days off. How do I get paid from Social Security? This is how Social Security works for sickness benefits. First, you must check that you qualify. You must be employed when you got sick. Have made 50 paid contributions. Have made 5 paid contributions within 13 weeks immediately before getting sick. To ensure that your processing goes smoothly, be sure to complete and submit your claim form within 14 days of the first day of illness. Thanks, I get it now.
Visit our website or contact any of our offices to have someone assist you. Also, be sure to visit our Facebook page and give us a like to stay informed. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
This is what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connection. Pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! Of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? It's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
The Social Security Board is facing backlash from the Belize Association for Persons with Diverse Abilities after releasing a statement on Thursday about Santiago Siao Jr.'s ineligibility for invalidity benefits. As we reported earlier this week, the former police officer passed away on Tuesday, just over a year and a half after being retired from law enforcement due to medical unfitness. Siao's retirement came several years after he suffered a severe fall while on duty in Belize City, an injury that led to a serious bone disease. The SSB's statement explained that after reviewing the application and relevant documents, the medical board, guided by the Social Security Act, ruled that Mr. Siao did not meet the requirements for invalidity benefits. Kenrick Tias, president of BAPTA, has criticized the board's decision to deny Siao's these benefits.
You're saying that you can't work, you're medically unfit to work, but if you get the hip replacement at X costs, which we're not going to pay for, then you could come back and get your benefits now. Or you'll just get your hip replacement and work and not get any benefits. How do we read into that? You see? It's unfair. Whatever happened to this gentleman is unfair to him, and it's definitely something that needs to be broadcasted to the entire country so people understand what Social Security is about. I will say something else that might be controversial with Social Security. I have no objection to them giving money to anybody they want to give it to, but the loan must be secured, it must be beneficial to as many people as possible, and it must be paid back in a timely manner. They are able to let go of the money so fast. And we're saying that this money came from the very the beneficiaries of this money should be the people. And when it comes to the people getting any amount of money, it seems to be a hard task and something that they have to fight and go back and forth. This man can barely walk, and he got hip problem, he got one disease in a bone, and you want him up and down at your office every so often to come and prove what? Then now, on top of that, he must now go to the High Court, which is a tidy penny. In this case with this gentleman, it's sad because now he has departed this life. I'm not sure if he has any children or not, but he has a family, mother, father, brothers, whatever, and I think that he should not just die there. I think if it is possible at all, he should still go to the High Court and let them decide to accept or reject his thing for his claim for benefits.
We also caught up with Luke Martinez, president of the National Trade Union Congress of Belize, to get his take on SSP's decision to deny Siao's invalidity benefits request. Martinez said he needs to look into the case further, but he emphasized that situations like this shouldn't be happening.
This morning I mentioned to a colleague that this is a case that we need to study because these type of things shouldn't happen, and the information that we have is information that I think it come up from one of the pop-up medias, right? And I'm very careful with information that come up from these pop-up medias. I'm not hitting on them, and as a responsible citizen, I must do my research to get to the bottom of it and find out why he was denied, and go back to Social Security response to see how we ensure that these things discontinue.
During today's ceremony in Keycocker to celebrate the island's new water treatment plant, Prime Minister John Briceño made an unexpected move. He paused the event and asked for a restart because the attendees weren't singing along to Belize's national anthem. Once the music stopped, students from Keycocker RC Primary School and Ocean Academy were invited to lead the anthem alongside the Prime Minister. We spoke with him after the event, where he explained why he felt it was important to correct the audience.
I think I want to start off by what I said at the beginning on the issue about love of country. It really upsets me that no one sing the national anthem. You know, we always say we love Belize, but show it. Sing the national anthem, pick up the garbage, show by practice how much you love this country. And it's important for us to inculcate that in our children. That's why if you notice when it started, I said, stop, let's start again. We have to do that at all times, and you, the media, also should call you out whenever that doesn't happen. Hey, you need to sing the national anthem. Show how proud you are of this country.
Today was a big day for the folks in Keycocker Village. They celebrated the arrival of two notable upgrades to their water services. Belize Water Services Limited, along with the government of Belize, kicked off the construction of a brand new wastewater treatment facility and expanded the island's reverse osmosis plant. We were there to catch all the action and find out how these new amenities will make life better for everyone on the island. Here's News 5's Brittany Gordon with the scoop.
Around 2,000 people call this beautiful island of Keycocker home. With tourism booming, it's more important than ever to have reliable water and wastewater services to keep everyone's quality of life top-notch. That's why the government of Belize and Belize Water Services have teamed up to expand the island's reverse osmosis plant and build a new wastewater treatment facility. Executive Chairman Cornelia Acosta Jr. shares how the reverse osmosis plant is making a big difference for the community.
Every year we have challenges in Keycocker in meeting demand. The island consumes about 201,000 gallons per day, and what we could have previously met was around 190,000 gallons. In other words, we're meeting 95% of the daily demand of the island. The board, management, and of course the government have prioritized the need in meeting these scarcities that we've been facing. So we had done more analysis and had proceeded to purchase a $150,000 desalination plant, which would then give us a capacity now of up to 300,000 gallons per day, meeting well enough what is the demand, at least for now, to the next 10-15 years.
As the temperatures climb, so does our thirst. Thanks to a $1.5 million investment in the plant's expansion, Belize Water Services, BWS, is now delivering clean, better tasting tap water to everyone on the island. Prime Minister John Brisenia shared some exciting news too. There are plans to roll out this system across the entire country.
They got a new equipment, a salt system that removes the taste of chlorine, so that the water is safe, but it may not leave bad aftertaste. Now with this one, it's a pilot project here and in the Crooked Tree. And now, as you notice, I'm sure you all tasted the water. It tastes good, so you don't have to go buy water, so it could save a lot of money for our citizens. That project now, through an IDB loan that we've been working on, we're going to go now into more and more of our communities to be able to install that so that they could also use the potable water to drink and not just to bathe and wash dishes and so forth.
Ground was also broken for a new $40 million wastewater treatment plant and collection system. Acosta explains that it is necessary to begin working on this facility now so that the company can continue to provide water services in the long term.
One of the strategies that BWS has undergone now is looking at redundancies and contingency plans. A lot of the times we rely primarily on our single source, for example, Belize District on the river. And we have several systems that are direct production to distribution. Keycocker has a storage facility, but if something were to happen to the plant, like last year, we had some challenges. The plant went down right during the Easter period, and it created challenges for us. So we decided, you know what, it's time to have a redundancy plan, having an alternate site that could also provide storage in the event that there is a natural disaster occurring, or that the plant may need to undergo some time that it will be going down, and we'll have enough capacity to withstand and provide to the key.
Good morning, Infant One.
After the inauguration, Prime Minister Brisenia and the BWS team visited Keycocker RC Primary School and Ocean Academy High School, where they awarded grants of $5,000 to assist children with their school fees.
What BWSL did, they gave a grant of $5,000. They spoke with the principal to point out those that can't be making their fees, and so the principal will be making that, paying those fees on behalf of BWSL for both primary school and high school. I have also made a commitment. I'm going to give them another $5,000 through the chair lady of the village with Miss Pot, and she will work with the principal to ensure that get it to the children that need. And so it's important for us to be able to give the proper support to our children to be able to learn and not have to be worrying whether they are going to be sent home because they can't pay their fees.
Brittany Gordon for News 5.
Smile, everybody.
Up next, have you considered a Montessori education?
At RF&G Insurance, we're committed to safeguarding what matters most to you, offering coverage mile after mile. Our offices and agents located across Belize ensure that you are protected. Secure your property with RF&G Householders' comprehensive policy. From your home to your belongings, we offer protection so you can enjoy life to the fullest. For more information on your coverage options, contact our team of experts today or visit your local agents. We'll be ready to assist. Don't forget, it pays to get it right with RF&G Insurance, a Rowe Group company.
We all know about the phasing out of single-use plastics and the enactment of pollution from the plastics regulations. One of the key components in this regulation states that for an item to be considered biodegradable, it must consist of more than 50% of bio-based content. Here,
You will find out how the Department of the Environment determines what items meet the criteria and what equipment is being used to guide that process.
Since 2019, the Department of the Environment has been working with CFAS in doing microplastics. Through this project, CFAS has donated 2 microscope Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy equipment to strengthen capacities on monitoring and enforcement to reduce marine litter and plastic pollution. The FTIR can be used to identify unknown materials. The Department of the Environment will use the equipment to determine the composition of single-use plastics and biodegradable products to enforce the environmental protection, pollution from plastics regulations.
While we have a long way to go with the implementation of the pollution from plastics regulation, having this equipment is one step closer. For more information on what's being done about biodegradables and ways you can help, visit our website at www.doe.gov.bz.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connection. Pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! Tired of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? It's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
As we dive deeper into the world of unconventional education, we've been captivated by some unique teaching styles that haven't quite hit the mainstream in Belize yet. One standout is the Montessori method. Even though Dr. Maria Montessori introduced this approach back in the early 1900s, it's only found a home in one school here. But that's starting to change as more parents discover the incredible benefits and the special kind of empowerment it offers their kids. This week, we're excited to take you on a tour of the Children's House at Mother of Mercy Montessori. Let's jump into that story. The Montessori method is all about meeting students where they are, adapting to their unique learning pace and style. Developed by Dr. Maria Montessori in the early 1900s, this approach was truly ahead of its time. It uses sensory experiences to guide learning, helping kids build confidence and feel empowered. Globally, it's a popular choice for many, known for its hands-on learning, focus on key developmental stages, and deep respect for each child's individuality. But here in Belize, Montessori is still a bit of a novelty. We took a trip to Mother of Mercy Montessori, the only school in the country that formally embraces this innovative system.
We've been in here for about 6 years now. This is our 6th year, and we've started with a daycare. And then we're moving to primary and lower elementary and upper elementary.
In the Montessori method, I'm inside what is considered a child's house. And when compared to traditional, more conventional teachings here in Belize, this would be deemed as a classroom. And what we call teachers, the Montessori school refer to as guides. Alma Habet, the lead guide at Mother of Mercy Montessori, has the wonderful task of nurturing children of all different ages. Her calm and welcoming demeanor creates a space where the unique personalities of each child can flourish. With gentle encouragement, she leans over and invites a student to join her in a sentence writing lesson, fostering a love for learning in the process.
Children are not interested for us to always be telling them what to do, and they're capable of so much more. So we have like small brooms where a child can do exactly what an adult is doing, that they need respect. We need to give them that dignity that every human person needs to have. So once a child has that and they are followed, they're observed, we know where to meet them. They come from different backgrounds, they have different experiences, so they all bring this together in the Children's House.
Rosaline Bradley has been instrumental in bringing this forward-thinking educational method to life. With her extensive experience in Belize's education system, she passionately underscores the value of the Montessori approach and its transformative potential for how children in Belize learn and grow.
So one of the values that I notice, it's very hands-on. And so the students too, they make their choices, and then they have to stay at an activity for a length of time. And so with that, they develop that skill of, learning on their own and persevering whatever it is that they want to learn. What are some of the difficulties? Working through challenges, making decisions, choices, and so on. And I think that's one of the things that even in the regular school, as a teacher educator, one of the things that I encourage teachers to do is to not just talk to students, but students learn by doing.
They get everything that they need as a traditional, except it's just done in a different way. So instead of maybe just using books, if they're going to do a science experiment, they're actually going to go outdoors and do the real experiment. It's not going to just be like reading off from a book or studying it or memorizing.
With more students joining every year, this young school is gearing up to grow alongside its children as they move up to higher grades. They're committed to continuing their journey with the Montessori method, nurturing each child's development every step of the way. Parents have cited the positive impacts on their children's development. One of these parents even mentioned that she chose Mother of Mercy Montessori for her youngest child after experiencing the benefits of the Montessori education with her older children abroad.
I love it. I already told my husband I want my kids to stay there all the way to the elementary position because I have seen them grow, and it is just so amazing. I am surprised.
When I had first gone to a Montessori school, they gave you a whole list of assessments that your child would be able to meet at the end of each program. And so it wasn't just like, oh, they will learn ABCs, they will learn for color. There were a whole list of things that they give to you. So I'm very happy, and my kids, my older children, had a very, very good experience. So when I realized that they had like a Montessori school here as well, and then those children have grown up and now I have little ones, so I thought, that would be perfect, especially for my daughter who grew up in COVID.
If they want something different, if they're willing to learn the method, I think that it would be a great step forward because the children can have better critical thinking, they are vocal, they can speak out when they need to, they have freedom with boundaries. So we still need to discipline, but it's more of a respectful way, not what the guide wants or what the parent wants only. So there's a lot of sacrifice on the part of the adult.
Looking on the bright side, I'm Sabrina Daly. If you are interested in learning more about the Mother of Mercy Montessori, you can contact info@motherofmercymontessori.com or call 223-7073. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. From all of us here at News 5, have a happy and safe weekend. Good night.